All right, so I know what you're thinking. Flush sugar from my blood just from one drink? This sounds like TikTok pseudoscience. And trust me, I get it. I'd be skeptical too. But here's the deal. There's a drink that I've used with patients and personally that can help you lower your blood sugar, reduce sugar cravings, and support your A1C. And no, this isn't a juice cleanse. It's a blend of time-tested ingredients backed by both Western science and traditional Chinese medicine. So today I'm going to break it down for you. What's in the drink and what formulas to use, why it works, how it affects your blood sugar, and how traditional Chinese medicine views blood sugar problems in a completely different and really insightful way. So let's dive in. Hey guys, I'm Dr. Alex Hein, board licensed doctor of acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine, and author of the health book Master of the Day. Let's jump in over here to number 1. Now let's talk about the main one glass drink, but with real traditional Chinese medicine formulas behind each ingredient. Now, these are formulas that have been tested in clinical studies for blood sugar and for diabetes, in particular for A1C, because A1C is typically what your doctor is going to be testing to see how your long-term blood sugar regulation has been. Now, compound number 1 is called berberine. And if you want to know where berberine, all these trendy supplements come from, they come from Chinese medicine, guys. The herbs that we use, particularly one called Coptis chinensis, huanglian, is one of the highest in berberine. Now, in dozens of randomized controlled trials, berberine, the active alkaloid in this plant, huanglian, matched or even outperformed metformin in lowering A1C and your fasting glucose. So what is the mechanism of this? It activates something called AMPK. You can think of it like a metabolic master switch that reduces the intestinal glucose absorption and improves your insulin sensitivity. Now, why does this matter for you? You know, when you add a half a teaspoon of berberine powder to your drink, you're leveraging decades of traditional Chinese medicine use and dozens of modern trials. So it's not just folklore, this is actually something that's evidence-based, and we'll talk more about some formulas. Number 2 is called cinnamon, rogui or Ceylon cinnamon. Now I'll show you here, we use cinnamon twig and cinnamon bark. This is medical grade stuff, grown for decades and then harvested. Now, in terms of clinical insights here for you, there is a review that found that cinnamon supplementation reduced your fasting blood glucose and cholesterol in type 2 diabetics. Pretty simple, cinnamon works. From a traditional Chinese medicine point of view, we say rogui or guizhi, the bark or the twig, warms the middle like digestive function and supports your overall GI. It's also very good for circulation, anxiety, and nervous system problems. So it's useful because cinnamon adds both a warming digestive boost and a proven sugar modulating effect, so you get the best of East and West. There's an interesting formula that's been studied. I mean, there are tons in China and the hospitals used, but one's called 小克姜糖片. Now, this is basically a patented TCM tablet that showed significant reductions in your fasting and postprandial, meaning after you ate glucose, and your hemoglobin A1C in about 70% of a group of people with type 2 diabetes. So minus the peripheral herbs, you're still reinforcing the same principles. In traditional Chinese medicine, typically high glucose and high A1C, we say is you have to clear heat. That's like the inflammation you see with it. So berberine-based drinks sort of echo this kind of mechanism of action as well. Now, 4th formula is called 六味地黄丸. Right? 6-ingredient Rehmannia pill. Now, what's so neat about this is commonly a formula I use clinically for diabetics that have urinary issues. In one large Taiwanese study of over 70,000 type 2 diabetics, those who took 六味地黄丸along with oral diabetes medications were 40% less likely to need insulin compared to those on medications. One other trial showed that when combined with ginkgo biloba, an herb that's trendy for memory, this 六味地黄丸significantly reduced early-stage diabetic kidney damage over 2 years. So this compound is protective, supportive, and works on complications, not just your sugar alone, basically. But let's jump into the Western science explanation. So let's nerd out for a second, and I'll keep it simple. Cinnamon has been studied for blood sugar control, right? It helps your cells become more sensitive to insulin, like tuning the radio dial so your body can actually hear the message. Hey, take the sugar out of the blood, dude. So some studies even show a small reduction in A1C, like 0.3 to 0.5%, which is pretty significant for a natural food. Now, another one you can supplement with is apple cider vinegar. It slows how quickly food leaves your stomach, which blunts these post-meal glucose spikes. We talked about this AMPK. That's like the metabolic switch your body flips when it's ready to burn fat and use sugar more effectively. Berberine, a specific compound we talked about briefly, is a powerhouse and is very trendy right now. It's an extract from huanglian in Chinese medicine, and studies have literally compared it to metformin, the most common drug used for diabetes. So it lowers your fasting blood glucose, improves insulin signaling, and can lower A1C by over 1% in some trials. Pretty cool. Another herb is called barley, or HEYNE'S, Job's tears, adds fiber, balances gut bacteria, and slows your carb absorption. In Chinese medicine, we say it clears dampness like bloating and gas and strengthens digestion. So what you've got here is a drink that improves insulin sensitivity, lowers the sugar spike after meals, and supports the organs that regulate your metabolism from both an East and a West point of view. Now, blood sugar issues don't start with sugar. They usually start with gut issues, poor digestion, inflammation, what we call dampness or spleen qi deficiency. If you've been struggling with bloating, food sensitivities, or digestive weirdness that doesn't show up on labs, make sure you download my free guide right below this video. It's a Chinese medicine roadmap for fixing your gut, calming inflammation, and actually absorbing nutrients again. Now, from a Chinese medicine point of view, how does Chinese medicine interpret blood sugar problems? Because we don't talk about insulin or glucose. This predates modern chemistry by literally thousands of years. We talk about balance of certain organ functions: qi, yin, heat, and dampness. So most blood sugar issues, when we talk about the herbs to take, fall into three classic patterns. Number one is spleen qi deficiency. Typically, this is low stomach acid and poor pancreatic enzyme production. That's the person who feels tired after eating, gets bloated, has foggy thinking, their digestion is weak, and so food turns into dampness, not the energy that it should. So Chinese medicine says that the engine isn't converting fuel into usable energy. The second pattern is the most common I see, which is called stomach heat or yangming excess. These people eat a ton, they're constantly thirsty, may feel hot or constipated, they have high blood sugar, high cholesterol, they also have high blood pressure. So there's too much heat and inflammation in the system, burning up the fluids, as we say. This is your hungry but wired type, like diabetic or highly stressed. Third pattern is called yin deficiency with empty heat, or deficiency heat. This one's more long-term. You see this more with like exhaustion or people who overwork or overstudy or overthink. Dryness, heat in the palms and the soles of your feet, night thirst, night sweats, irritability. They may be thin or losing weight unintentionally, or they may have just been overworking or overstressing. Now, these drinks help in all three cases, but especially the first two. In Chinese medicine, we say it's about restoring flow and proper physiological function, not just lowering a number. So who is this for and who is this not for, right? These formulas are great for people with prediabetes or metabolic syndrome, anyone with belly fat, blood sugar spikes, or sugar cravings in general. Folks with signs of damp heat, bloating, oily skin, fatigue, bad breath, excessive hunger. But if you tend towards cold hands and feet, loose bowel movements, you feel very weak and faint, you're underweight, fatigued, or you get low blood sugar easily, you might need to strengthen your digestive function, like what we call strengthening your spleen qi or warming digestion. So a lot of these heat-clearing herbs are not used for these kinds of people who have high blood sugar. So if you're on medications like metformin or insulin, make sure to check with your doctor or practitioner, especially berberine, because it could potentiate the effects of those medications. So here's how I tell my patients to often take their formulas. I usually have them take it 20 minutes before breakfast, like a gentle metabolic primer, and the second dose before dinner. It'll help flatten the post-meal spike, especially after carbs. I recommend them to do it for 4 to 6 weeks consistently, typically 2 doses a day, then test again. Look at your fasting glucose, your A1C, even your energy and your cravings. And if you want to make it even more effective, make sure you add exercise every single day as possible, get regular acupuncture, and focus on improving your digestion. So remember guys, the fastest way to lower your A1C is via fixing digestion. The free guide I've included below this video, that's a companion to this video, all goes into the traditional Chinese medicine approach to fixing digestive problems so that you can fix your blood sugar. So make sure you download it right below this video. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, it probably means this message resonates with you on a deeper level. Maybe you've tried the supplements, the stress hacks, or lifestyle changes, and something's still missing. That's where personalized care comes in. In my private clinic in Los Angeles or virtually via telemedicine, I work one-on-one with people who are done guessing. People who are ready to get to the root cause of their digestive problems, anxiety, insomnia, burnout, or chronic fatigue. And this is not a generic functional medicine protocol. This is custom, classical East Asian medicine designed for your body. You can learn more right below this video and in the description box if you want to work with me one-to-one. And then I have another great related video on herbs for blood sugar and diabetes, and also just healing herbs in general, right up here.